Hi friends! I just wanted to pop in here because I just suddenly had the urge to design a pattern, and there's this idea that's been in my head for quite a while, and I just thought it's time to try and make it. I have designed a lot of patterns. I even have a bunny pattern already, but I can't get the idea of a very chubby, cute bunny out of my head, and I want to create it. This one will be a little bit more of a bunny face and bunny shaped face, I hope. And overall, I also kind of want it to be in line with Valentine's Day that's coming up. So I want to add maybe some floral details, maybe a bow, maybe holding a rose. I don't know yet. I did do a little sketch, and this is what I came up with. I want it to look like this. I want the feet to be nice and round, and then the body to be like a egg-shaped so that it's extra chubby. Then the face to have some nice face shaping, the ears to really be at the back. I want an overalls mod because I want to give it floral overalls. I want a bow mod maybe, and maybe a holding a rose or something mod. So that's what I'm thinking. We'll see if it's any good. Now, step one for me is always making the base shapes and sewing them on, and then seeing how I want to place them when I actually make it no-sew. I don't know if I mentioned it, I want to make it completely no-sew. So I do think I am going to make the feet and the body attached to one another and not sew them, because if I start the body as a whole without attaching the feet, the pattern is going to be different. It's not just knowing where to attach the feet, the whole pattern will be different. So I will be doing that. I'm hoping it'll be relatively small size because I want to keep it quite easy to make. So we'll see where we get with that. I'm thinking I'm gonna check out my yarn wall and pick a color that I have too much of. It's looking like I have a lot of yellow, so I just pick a color I have too much of and use that to do the base design of what I'm thinking, because the first project will be a scrap project. It's not gonna be my final result because I'm still gonna be sewing on bits to determine where I want the positions to be and everything. So the first one is gonna be a scrap project. So I've gone ahead and grabbed some yellow, and I'm just going to jump right into it and make two little feet for the bunny. Real quick, excuse me if you can see the little hole in my sweater. It's still a perfectly fine sweater to wear inside. It still keeps me warm. Someday I will patch it up and sew it closed, but that day is not today. So ignore that. So anyway, this is where I've gotten so far. So you've got the really chubby feet, and then the body like going outward to make a very chubby belly. It's not as small as I thought it was gonna be, but honestly, I don't think I can make it much smaller if I want it to have the shape I want. So far so good. It's looking like how I wanted it to look, so I'm pretty pleased with this so far. I have finished the body shape and I'm pretty pleased with it. I did go for a shorter body than my drawing, just because the amount of stitches in the rounds, it was turning out a little bigger than I was expecting, and I don't want this to be a super long make. So I decided to go for a little shorter, but I'm loving the shape. And I'm kind of hoping, so far, it is standing on its own 2 feet. But I'm hoping this will stay once I finish the body, but I doubt it. Currently, this is not the most stable platform because I am holding it up, but currently it's standing up. It would be great if it stayed standing up. Maybe if I make the ears long, that they touch the ground, that'll help balance out the plushie. But yes, I am very, very pleased with this one. I have to do the head now, and then I'm going to do the other pieces later, which is the tail, the arms, and the ears, sew them on, and then in the second version, I will crochet them in. But overall, super pleased with how the shape turned out. And I'm kind of wanting to make more plushies out of this base pattern. Maybe a bear, maybe a bunny, we'll see. But I already have my whole line of bears, so maybe I'll keep this one to a bunny, we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to stop everything you're doing right now and look at how cute this is. I'm so obsessed. I think it turned out perfect. And I'm kind of thinking it's also giving a little bit cat vibes if it had cat ears and a tail. So it might become a 2-in-1 pattern. I think if I do go the cat route, I'm only doing overalls because those will be very simple color changes. But I'm so obsessed with how it's turning out. With the head on, it does still stand if you really want it to, but not for, like, you really have to push it down a bit and like maneuver it to get it to stand. But overall, super pleased with how it's turning out. I think now it's time to do the arms and then I will do the ears, and maybe I'll also try cat ears already just so that I can cut them off maybe and see if a cat is a route I also want to take. Because I don't think, like, because honestly, cat patterns are so hard to make. Like, cats have such a distinct face and ears that it's so hard to make something that looks like a cat. But we're off to a good start with the bunny part. We'll see about the cat. First off, I'm going to make the arms. I made 2 test versions for the arms. One is with a thumb, but I'm not really liking how it's looking because it just looks like a fat hand. And the other is just a plain shape with no thumb or anything. And I think I'm really liking how the plain one is. Like that. And I think maybe I like it a little more to the back so that the belly is really like sticking out, something like that. Do we think that's cute, or should the arms be longer? And this is the version with a thumb. See, it just kind of looks like a really fat hand, which is not what I'm going for. So this will be the version we keep. I'm gonna sew it on. Well, first make a second one, sew it on where I would like it to go, and then it's time for the ears. I have to keep in mind when sewing that the arm is going to be a little bit shorter because it's going to be crocheted into the work. So the last round is going to be slightly inside the plushie rather than sitting up against the plushie. So just like with the arms, I did 2 versions of the ears. One is a short one and one is a longer one, a much longer one. When I was making this pattern, I tried holding up an arm as an ear and I kind of liked the short look, but then I made the short ear, but then I tried it on and I was like, maybe I do like the longer version more. And also I did a little face. I don't like the face. There's something wrong with it. I don't know what is wrong with it, but that's not going to be what the face is going to be. So let's test out both ears. I want them to be quite low on the head because I think that's very cute. So on one side we'll put the shorter ear and on the other we'll put the long ear. Okay, I think I am immediately convinced that it should be the long ear, right? So cute. Yes, long ear. So I'm gonna make a second long ear and then maybe try out some cat ears as well. So I tried out the cat ears and I changed the nose. I think this tiny little pink button is a much better nose, so I'm glad with that. As for the ears, I am not sure about them. I mean, it does look like a cat, but do I want to make the pattern so complex? Because I feel like if you do a cat, you need different versions of a cat. You need striped cat, spotted cat, tuxedo cat, and I don't want to do that. Or do you think this is fine that I just have a base pattern for a cat? I'm not sure. Excuse the yarn ends. They're so loose because I want to be able to pull off the ears. I'm not sure. I will see. I'll stick to the bunny to start with, and I'll see if I have motivation to make the cat pattern as well. It would be a 2-in-1. It would not be 2 different patterns. Or if I just stick to the bunny. But first, time to finalize the bunny pattern. So I'm gonna take out the ears. So I was able to finish the draft version of my bunny pattern. Has a tail and everything. Completely no sew, of course. And it doesn't quite stand like this, but for display purposes, it stands on its tail and ears. So at a market, it can still be displayed nicely, like towards whoever is looking at it, because it's like you look from the top down and you see the whole bunny. So in that sense, display purposes are still very good for this bunny. I'm very pleased with how she turned out, and I do want to make a version with overalls next. I think I'm going to be doing that mostly off camera, just to fully focus on what I want the bunny to look like, and then I'll get back to you when the bunny is done. Actually, no, I'm not going to do overalls yet. I'm going to do a actual no-sew bunny to get all the placements right, and then after that I will do one with overalls. Hello. So I accidentally got a little bit too excited about this pattern and already made 2 versions off camera. It turned out a little different than we had talked about in the beginning, with the bow and a Valentine's Day bunny. I believe I said that. I was in bed one night, and as all patterns come to me, they either come to me while I'm contemplating in bed at night or I'm having a shower. Don't ask me why. The idea came to me of overalls with a bee on it. So here's Chubby Spring Bunny number 1, fully no sew, of course, and they can kind of balance on their ears like that, which is nice for display purposes. But this is Chubby Bunny number 1, which is the bee variation. Then I also made a second one, which is the flower variation. And they ended up being just pants and not overalls, because I'm a big fan of, like, when you close up the hole at the top, there's nothing left to do. So all that's left to do in this one is the face shaping and adding the little nose. I didn't want to have to, add the straps for the overalls or add a border or anything. I wanted this pattern not to get too complex and have too many steps, because it already has a couple pieces to make. So that's why I made that decision, but I still think it turned out super, super cute. Now, I did post this one on Patreon already, and I mentioned that I was thinking of doing hats, and I got a very good reaction. Everybody loved the pattern, and one person commented yes to hats, and I think a strawberry hat would be very cute. And then I was like, a strawberry. So now I'm gonna make a version with a strawberry on the belly and a version with a cherry on the belly as well. And then I'm gonna make some hats, and then that's gonna be it. I think I might only make one hat and then have that same hat have a strawberry variation as well. so that the pattern doesn't like get out of hand with how many things you have to do. Not that you necessarily have to make a hat if you're making this pattern, but yes. Super pleased with these, and I've already picked out my colors for the cherry version. Let me quickly show you those. For the cherry one, we're going with a darker brown bunny in pink overalls, red for the cherry, and green for the stem. This is giving me pistachio strawberry chocolate dessert. And I'm loving it. And I can't wait to make the next bunny. I'm very, very excited about these. I haven't felt so inspired, so excited to make a pattern in quite a while. So very exciting times. What a way to start 2026.
I like the boob pad, and on this one in particular, you can kind of see the imprint of my boobage.
Hello, hello. I finished my little cherry chubby bunny, and I'm very pleased with how she turned out. Very cute. I had to frog the placements of the cherries a couple times, so yeah, but I do really like how the end results turned out. This red yarn is just like losing fluff like crazy, which made the frogging even worse. But yeah, the cherry one is done. That leaves only the strawberry one and then making some hats. So I'm gonna choose colors for the last bunny now. So for the strawberry detail itself, I'm going for my classic color combination of the salmony pink and the pistachio green. For the shorts, I'm gonna do a nice light blue. And for the bunny itself, this like gray beigey tone. I think that is gonna be a very cute, light toned bear bunny. Yeah, and that's gonna be the last bunny in the pack. And then it's hat time. Can I just say I'm so pleased with how this is going. It's the first time in months that I felt inspired to make something and to really let go of everything I make has to be super innovative, while I can also just design my own cute shape for a bunny without it having to have fancy techniques, being something really new no one has ever seen before. There's a bunch of bunny patterns out there. I'm sure there will be some that are also chubby like mine, but I'm very pleased with how mine turned out. And honestly, it's my favorite bunny pattern, and I'm loving the pants and little spring designs on the belly. So it really lightens my mood to make my first pattern of 2026 so early in 2026. With that being said, I'm going to make this bunny, and this time I'm also going to film some of the steps to add as video links in the pattern for some steps that might be a bit harder for some people to understand just in text or in photos. Hello, hello you guys. It's been quite a while since I last checked in about the chubby spring bunnies pattern. To be fully honest, I started playing a new farm on Stardew Valley, and I've been enjoying it so much that I just did not film for like a week. Oops. But anyway, I did in the meantime crochet without picking up the camera, and I made quite a few bunnies already. I don't know which ones I've showed you yet, so I'm just gonna go in order. So first up, I made the bee bunny, but I don't think I showed you the hat yet. So here's the bee bunny wearing a plain farmer's hat, which was the first one. Then I went ahead and made the daisy bunny. Then I think I showed you this one, and this was the last one I showed you, but then I made a cherry chubby bunny. Next up, this is the last variation in the set, which is the strawberry bunny with a strawberry hat. And then I went ahead and used existing variations to make new ones. So for example, I used the bee base pattern, but made these orange and these green to make a pumpkin bunny. And then I used the strawberry variation to make a tomato bunny. And I'm enjoying this pattern a lot. I still want to use this one, so this variation, to make a carrot bunny. And then I am also already working on using this one, but making a sunflower one. So I've been busy making bunnies. I think I will also take them to my con to sell because I do love these bunnies a lot. I think I'm gonna price them in the same price range as the hoodie bears. They might seem small, but because they've got the long ears, they do take that extra step of making the long ears like aligns with adding the hoodie to the hoodie bears. So I do think they are worthy to be the same price as the hoodie bears, and I like having most of my stuff being one price. I'll have a couple more small items, the ones you see down here, fishies, dinos, and foxes. Those are a little cheaper than all of my bigger standing and the sitting patterns. Now, what I should be doing now is writing out the pattern in Canva and posting the tester call. But I already started a sunflower bunny and I kind of just want to crochet. But I think I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good and I'm just gonna work on the pattern, and then I might be able to post the tester call today already. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna get some work done, and then I'm allowed to crochet. To reward myself on actually working on the pattern instead of crocheting and doing relaxed stuff, I ordered myself some lunch and I just thought I'd share because why not? I ordered some, can you see that? Miso soup. Let me know down below if you guys like miso soup or if you've actually even tried miso soup before. When I first started drinking it, I hated it. Now I love it. So that's that. The main event of the lunch is this Vietnamese roll, which is so good. It's with duck and like rice noodles. Rice noodles, not rice and noodles. Pineapple, this really nice sauce, and some greens. And it comes with a delicious sauce. And a ginger lemon drink. So, well deserved. Usually I don't do this, but I was hungry. Nothing in the house was giving me that, yes, I want to eat that feeling. So I was like, you know what? I deserve it. So I'm going to eat this and then I'm going to get back to pattern editing. Oh, and also the tester call has been posted over on Patreon and on Instagram. Patreon members of mine get all my ad patterns for free that I post. I post a link once it's done in Canva. So they even have like early access as early as the testers do, and then I also pick randomly a couple official testers from Patreon to include in the tester appreciation, because if I had to just include all my Patreon members, the tester appreciation page might get out of hand. So it's posted on Instagram, posted on Patreon, so that's motivation for me to actually finish up the pattern completely. And don't let me stop before it's completely finished, because if I do, those last little steps are gonna block my ADHD brain and I'm not gonna be able to finish it, and I'll just keep extending and not closing the tester call. So do not allow me to stop working on the pattern until I'm fully done with it. Okay? Okay, I'm back, and as promised, I have finished the pattern. Now, because I finished the pattern, I'm allowed to crochet a little bit, and I'm going to make a sunflower bunny so that I can just test the pattern one more time now that it's all written down. And the sunflower has the most little color changes on the belly, so I think that one will be the best to test it out. So I'm gonna make that sunflower bunny now and then check back in once that one is done. Well, hello friends. It has been a hot minute since I've talked to you guys. I don't remember when the last time it was that I spoke to you guys, but I took a little break from crocheting and then I went skiing, well, snowboarding, but I call it ski holiday. And now we're here. The release was actually planned for last Monday. It is Saturday today, but I have an explanation for that. So originally, all the testers had to give their final picks to me on last Sunday for release on Monday, but because this pattern is no-sew and it's very placement specific, like the tail, the arms, the ears, the little shape on the belly, and also a couple testers said their hat was coming out a bit too big. I actually didn't want to release the pattern yet, and I want to test out all the comments that were left a couple times on one or two bunnies before I went ahead and released the pattern. So I did say last time that I started a sunflower one. Seeing as I want to take all new comments into consideration, I'm going to start a new one now. So what I'm going to do now is start a new bunny or two and make a hat as well. See if I need to change the pattern up a bit, because indeed the hat is a bit big. For me, it did fit nicely on the head, even though it was a little bit more oversized, but for other people it has been coming out a bit too big, so I would rather change up the pattern a bit than have to say downsize your hook or anything like that, because I prefer not to do that when I'm making other people's patterns. So that's on the planning for this weekend. I want to make one bunny, maybe two, depending on how many comments there are. And then it's time to add all the tester images, make the final post, upload it to Etsy, and make the release post. So that means I'll take you along on that whole process as well of doing those steps. And also I have decided that I'm not sticking to a upload schedule of every Monday. It has gotten way too overwhelming for me. I'm doing one full-time jobs, but it's split into two half-time jobs that both expect me to work a bit more than half-time. One of those jobs is doing a PhD, combining that with this whole nooks hooks thing, finding time to crochet, finding time to post on Instagram, post on Patreon, film YouTube videos, make patterns, edit patterns. I was drowning a bit in all the work I had to do. So I'm taking a step back. I have some time off from work now, and I am going to just film and post whenever I feel like it. No pressure on me anymore whatsoever. That being said, I do finally feel the itch to crochet again. So I will be finally working on the bunny pattern once more. So one bunny, at least, maybe two. I'll check back in later.
Yeah, I love it. I had so much fun. This is actually only on early access, so what I will be doing when this releases is putting it on my list.
So I did go ahead and finish the bunny. All the placements were okay except for the ears, which I did change up a little bit. Now, I think everybody's tension is different, so everybody's placement will still be different, but I do think this one is a bit more right for everyone. So all the rest was okay. I did go with the flower one because if the flower one is correct, all the others are correct, because they all are centered around the three bubbles here on the flower, and the flower one I wanted to redo to make sure the petals around it were correct as well. So I'm happy that worked out. I also sized down the hat a bit. The hat is like super snug on the head now, which I don't know if I'm a big fan of. I think pattern-wise and fit-wise, people might like to make this better just because, I don't know, they might want their hat to fit more snug, but the previous version had more of an oversized hat, which is this one. I don't know if on camera, yeah, you can tell there's a bit of difference in how big the hat is. And I personally like the oversized version a bit more. But I do think pattern-wise, this one might be a bit better to have in the pattern just because it fits snug, and there were multiple people who said their hat came out too big. So I'm gonna go with this one. And then I also realized I never added pictures of the hat to the pattern, so that is something I have to do now. For this hat, it's fine. I just have to take pictures of the final result because it's not hard. But for the strawberry variation, here it's pumpkin, but for the strawberry variation, I do want to take step-by-step pictures because the no-sew part of this can be a bit harder to understand. I have another 40-ish minutes before I have to leave to dinner plans, so what I'm going to do now is make one strawberry hat, take pictures of that, add them to the pattern, and then all of that's done so that tomorrow all I have to do is like test your appreciation, make the posts and everything, but no actual edits to the pattern itself. So that's going to be great. I'm also going to update you in the evening on how much sold on the first day, but for one, it's not going to be a whole day because I'm going to post like noon, afternoon, maybe even late afternoon because I have a knitting class tomorrow. My first ever knitting class. But yeah, I don't know when it's going to post, so it'll probably only be a span of a couple hours that I can update you on. And also, the first day of pattern releases never actually go well with me. I think usually I would say it's about 10 copies on the first day. So don't have high expectations. I don't have high expectations. And also, my modular patterns are the ones that usually do well on the first day, not like any new patterns that I released. Like my Sleeping Foxes, like they absolutely flopped on the first day. I think I sold 2 copies, and then throughout the time, they started getting more popular and more popular. And now they are a really good seller in 2025 patterns. So first days are not very telling. I think once like a couple people start making it, start posting theirs, the network of people who know the pattern starts growing, that's when you really start to see the sales incoming. And that's one of the reasons my bears got so popular, my hoodie bears. I got fully obsessed with my own hoodie bears pattern, and if you look at my Instagram, there are like hundreds of posts of my bears and my hoodie bears and my modular patterns. And that's a big reason they got so popular because I kept making them, I kept posting them, you guys kept seeing them like post after post after post. And at some point, a lot of people are going to be like, you know what? Yeah, that is cute. I do want to make that. So lesson learned there, just make your own pattern a bunch of times, keep posting it. No one's going to get sick of it. So that's something I have to do with the bunnies as well. So I'm going to have to make a couple more bunnies, and I do want to make some in different yarns. So that's going to be exciting. That was another little rant of talking. I should get back to work, make the last hat, and then I will probably update you tomorrow and not today anymore.
Look how cute my mirror came out. I have a few things I'm gonna do this week, so I was like, we need to, and so y'all can see what I'm working on, and I can see what y'all working on, and we can yap, and we can do this, and we can do that, and we can do this. Yeah.
Alrighty. Wat is het? Alrighty, so you just saw me work on the final edits of the pattern. I still had to update the yarns page. I had to update the tester appreciation, upload the photos I took yesterday of the hats, make the Instagram post of the release, and make all the Etsy pictures to put on the listing. So I'm done with all that. It's all downloading. Now it's time to upload it to Etsy, and then I can make the release post on Instagram. So I'm gonna take you guys with me while I make the Etsy listing. Basically, I just copy paste an existing listing, edit the photos, edit the description, the title, and a new PDF file and the pricing, and all the rest I just kind of leave the same because I'm lazy. So I'm gonna do that now, and then it's time to make the Instagram post, and then I'll probably check in tonight or maybe tomorrow morning to let you guys know how the first day went. But again, we're not expecting much of the first day.
Needed to be done. I will show you guys everything, and I will also be going along and telling you guys what I will be doing with everything. So let's go ahead and
So the pattern has been uploaded to Etsy. Now it's time to make the release post. I opened up Canva and downloaded the files. I actually used to download the files on my laptop, upload them onto my Google Drive, and then download them from my Google Drive on my phone, which is just too many steps because I can just download it on my phone from Canva, which is what I do now. So I'm going to make the release post, and then after that, I need to post that on my story with the link to go purchase it. And then that pattern is fully wrapped up. And then I think I might make a Elise Softy Plus version just for fun as well. So I made the post, pattern is on my Etsy. All that's left to do is go hit the share and save button on Etsy and then post that one on my Instagram story. And there we have it. The story is ready, posted, and that brings me to the end of designing, making, editing, making all the posts of this pattern. I hope you... I was about to end the vlog right there. It's not the end of the vlog yet because I need to update you guys on how the first day went. So that's going to be later tonight or tomorrow. I have to head out to a knitting class, so I'm very excited, in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to relax a bit and get ready for the knitting class. So bye! Hi guys! So I unexpectedly went for dinner with Lush last night, so I didn't check back in to tell you how many of my patterns sold. It is the next day in the afternoon, so it's been live for a little over 24 hours, so let's see how many patterns sold. I'm just going to open up 20 sales. That is definitely not bad. I'm very pleased with that first day. So yeah, that's a successful first day, I would say. I'm very pleased with that. I'm glad you guys are appreciating the pattern. It's been a while since I felt inspired to make a new pattern like this. I did make my fishy, which was a free tiny one on my Instagram. But it's been a while since I felt inspired to make a big new pattern. So with that, I will link the pattern down in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, more con prep coming up, me learning a new hobby coming up soon. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye!